Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Last Cloudia. So now we are at the point to where we have one more banner before 2021 ends. So let's see how we end this year. And here we have Maiden of Binding Sera. So, when you look at her stats in general, she's actually got decent stats across the board. She's got defense, intelligence, and mind over 1,000, which is really nice to see. The fact that she even has 900 strength is something in general, but MP is definitely the important thing for her to have because of the kind of character she is. She is a sorcerer, so that's something to consider. Another thing that I see here that's really cool is her elemental resistances are really good. Her attributes, she basically has a positive in everything except thunder, which I find very interesting. And of course, she has resistance to silence, which is great, resistance to curse, and she's nil to illness, which makes sense because of the kind of character she is. Now, as far as skills are concerned, I haven't really looked at her quite yet, so there's a lot that I don't know. But it looks like her first skill, basically, it hurts gods more, so that's something to know. Her second skill gives a buff to allies. It looks like attack damage, physical, plus 20% buff to all allies, so that's pretty good. And her third skill is an HP restore for all allies, also really good. And then her special is basically reviving all of her allies, it looks like. Rarely restores HP, applies all attribute damage plus 25%, and all attribute damage cap 3,500 buff to all allies. So, really, really cool. Again, really good in terms of a support character, and we haven't even got to her traits and skills yet. So, we have the first trait, Maiden of Binding. So, while unit is alive, all allies' damage cap is at 2k. Battle start, apply a strength plus 35% buff to all allies, excluding this unit. Every 40 seconds, use 50 MP to reapply the buff. So even though that buff is a battle start, it can be reapplied, assuming she has the MP for it. So at least it could stay active, which is a good thing. We have Heaven's Guidance, nullifies Sorcerer, Killer, Slayer effects, HP recovery cap 3,000. When allies' HP is restored by an active skill, apply a buff that restores 20% of restored HP amount after a set time. So, again, this is going to be her being a good healer right here. And the fact that she's immune to Slayers is a good thing if you plan on using her in Arena. So, that's something to consider. Looking at her magic, because she is a sorcerer. We have a charisma, so let's check that out. So give all allies the effect when restoring HP with units' active skills, plus 30% recovery, only while units alive and all that good stuff. So yeah, I guess everybody gets a HP increase when it comes to healing. And then she has God Heal, which comes standard with most healers these days. Starlight Heal, which is group 1. We have Cure All, which basically cures status ailments. We have Erase, which basically removes the debuff as far as like stats are concerned. So remove those. High Resurrection, Grand Protection, Magic Castle, High Vitality Phaser. High Vitality Phaser is new because I believe the only one we've seen is the original one that Theria had, was just regular Vitality Phaser. So this basically gives you a 2,000 increase in HP cap instead of 1,000. So that's pretty good. We have MP up max for her passives, Magic Defense up, Max Arcane 4, Esoteric up 3, so this is a new one. Int, Mind, and MP plus 10%. So we're starting to now get to a point where we're getting 3 stats with certain passives, which is a good start. I think that we're going to be seeing similar things with some of the newer units that's going to be out in 2022. You're probably going to see like strength, HP, and I don't know, defense or something. I'm not really too sure, but you're going to see, triple. I think this is the start to it. We have Royal Armor, Divinity Shield, which basically stops you from, certain attacks from gods, dragons, just shrugging some damage. Wisdom's Protection, which we've seen before. Auto Heal, which is nice for a healer. Healing Boost, Healing High Boost, which you should have. Sacred Guardian, So recovery magic power plus 20%, recovery magic cast speed plus 50%. So the fact that she's getting a cast speed for her healing naturally is very, very good. I like that. I mean, cast speed is very important to a mage, and since she's mainly a healer, you want that. Archangel's Blessing to recharge some of that MP. We got Maglion's Shield, stopping her from long distance attacks. Movable Object, High Level Magic Chant. So she does have some of the staples for mages. We have Robe Mega Boost. This is a new one. When a robe is equipped, mind plus 20%, magical attack damage plus 10%, and physical damage taken minus 10%. So you're getting 3 different boosts here. We have Daybreak, HP recovery plus 10%, duration of buffs plus 10% from units' active skills. So, for example, the Vitality Phaser, that will give you an increased time for that HP cap, which, typically doesn't usually last long anyway because your enemy is going to probably hit you for more, but this is assuming that you're not taking much damage to begin with. We have Heavenly Chakra. Continuous Grand Regeneration. Advanced Magic Circles effect to the unit. So that's cool. So basically this is HP and MP healing naturally combined. Very strong. We have Clouded Heavens. Special becomes able to deal damage. And special damage cap 30k. Greatly boosts special damage to god types. Very nice. And Yada no Kagami. This says less likely to be targeted by enemies. Physical damage taken minus 20%. When attacking with specials, apply a strength defense and intelligence minus 35% debuff to god type monsters. So she's literally an anti-god type mage here. And as you can tell, she doesn't really have any offensive magic. It's all really just, healing for the most part. However, the damage comes with her special and I think one of her skills. And then, of course, the main thing that she's here for is to provide assistance to other characters. So she's increasing their damage. She's keeping them alive. She's doing a lot of good stuff. So basically, she's an enabler, which is nice to see. It's nice to see another healer that can compete with Theria, because I know that Theria has been kind of the standard for a good healer. So this woman basically is upping the game here. So overall, I think she's a good healer. I would argue that she might potentially be better than Theria. Specifically, not just because of the fact that she has just better healing in general, but the fact that she enables other units by giving them damage cap and things of that nature also makes her a bit stronger. Like, imagine Team Keeley if she had actual healing magic in her kit. You know what I mean? But that's kind of like what you could think of with this woman. Now, obviously, Team Keeley does a little bit more when it comes to damage cap, but just the fact that you have someone who can keep your party alive while basically she's boosting your offense and defense at the same time naturally, which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty good. So yeah, if you don't have Spirit Maiden and Theria and you want a good healer, I think this is definitely the character to go for. Simple as that. So let's talk about Amaterasu. Now, when you see that word, Amaterasu, that usually means something. As far as in other animes and video games, that's something that's supposed to be very, very powerful. So with a name like Amaterasu and a UR arc, we'll see how powerful it is. So looking at the trait, we have light attack damage plus 15%. Most attacks are effective against undead types. Each time healing magic is used, cut damage taken by a max of 20% at 10 times. Resets each wave if incapacitated. Light attack damage cap 2,000. HP recovery cap from active skills 2,000. So seems decent, especially for your light attackers. Not bad, and of course your healers. The actual skill at level 10 says powerful light attack against all enemies. Damage cap 15k. Boost damage against undead types. Revive all incapacitated allies, and very greatly restore HP. So you're doing a lot of damage. You're getting some HP cap, and you're reviving. Not bad, I'd say. And then if you look at these things that you can learn, you have healing boost, which we've seen before. Undead Geyser, which is going to be a new geyser for you mages out there. We have High Resurrection. This is actually the first time I think we've seen this on an arc, so that's pretty cool. God Heal. I mean, not bad. We've seen it before. Holy Armor, and then Holy Enhance. So for 12 SC, light attack damage plus 10%, recovery magic power plus 30%. So some of you might look at this and say, man, that's expensive for what you're getting there. And I don't blame you for thinking that way. I would say that the character that probably wants this the most, which is a character you hear almost no one talk about, is old school Lila. Because if for those that remember, when Lila dropped, she was a healer and a light mage at the same time. So this is the kind of skill that she would have wanted had this been out. So that's kind of an example of a character you want to put this on. Now, obviously, there are others you can do. You could actually put it on the new lady we just got. If you want to like throw on, say, Galaxy or something, I mean, that could be helpful. But if you want someone that could naturally use it, I would say Lila is probably the main target here. But yeah, either way, pretty good. I mean, for 12, it's a lot, I admit. So I don't know how many people are actually going to use this. But I like its potential, I'll say. But let's take a look at the actual Arc Ether reward. You have the Sun God Megatama. So, intelligence plus 55, MP plus 75, mind plus 65. So, for an accessory, the stats are decent all around. I mean, obviously, this is for a mage at slash healer. So, I think this definitely so far fits the character that came with it. Light attack damage plus 10%. Recovery magic power plus 15%. So, if you don't want to spend 12 SC on that other skill, you can just equip this and you'll get at least part of it, which I think is not bad. You also get a resistance to stun and curse, which is actually pretty strong. So I like it for the ailment resistance as well. So overall, I think it's decent. You know, like I said, this is for a very specific type of character, which is fine. And I think it could work. The fact that it says light attack damage means that it's not limited to just mages, so you could put this on, say, A2 or someone. You know, you won't benefit from the recovery magic power, but, you know, you would at least be able to cover her on more light damage if you're having a problem capping. You would also be able to provide her some resistances. That would be good for any kind of physical DPS. But if you want to put it on a mage, that's not a problem either, you know. So, like I said, this has multiple uses if you want to go there. So overall, I think it's a decent arc. Is it the best UR? No, I'd probably say no to that. I don't know that I want to rush to use my Ethereum to get this arc at max to get this item, but I think it's a decent one, specifically for the element resistances. And again, the stats are not bad for the specific type of character. Like I said, healer slash mage, I think it's okay for. So again, it's decent, but I feel like it's worth more of an SSR than a UR. But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But let's take a look at some of the paid stuff you can get for the new character. So we have our two items to choose from our new lady for Miss Sera. So we have the Holy Helirod Lesholt. So let's take, oh sorry, Heliorod, not Helirod. Heliorod Lesholt. So let's take a look here. This is a staff, lead element, intelligence 156, MP 50, mind 177, which looks like the good stats for a mage slash healer, so I like it. We have light attack damage plus 30%, already good. Duration of buffs from active skills plus 20%, and continuous recast effect. This is actually pretty strong. I actually like this a lot. And I'm saying this because lately we've seen a lot of paid gear that feels questionable. Like I actually put this on someone else's channel. I basically said that paid gear has been hit or miss lately, but this particular unit definitely has paid gear that's a hit, and this is definitely one of them. I mean, just look at everything about it. There's nothing wrong with this particular item. You're getting MP for your mage, you're getting 156 intelligence for your magic damage if you're going to go there, and you have 177 mind for your healing. I mean, you have everything you want, plus a lot of attack damage if you're going to just do your physicals, or, you know, if you want to throw on a magic spell on her kit, you can do that too, and it'll be helpful. Having continuous recast is super good. And of course, increasing your buff duration from your skills is also super strong. This is just a super, super good item. I'm actually impressed. Like I said, most of the paid gear has been questionable lately, but this is actually pretty solid. I like it already. But let's take a look at the robe, because I'm pretty sure she wants a robe. There we go. So this is the Holy Helio Garb, Lasade. So intelligence 83, defense 108, mind 214. Again, good stats, especially for the type of character this is. Really, really good on that mind stat. But anyway, a battle start, give unit an auto revive buff, unable to faint from enemy attacks, no attribute attack damage taken minus 25%, and you also get a resistance to blind and not blind, I'm sorry, to silence and stun, which is actually pretty good too. So that means if you equip it to her, she'll be nil to both if I'm not mistaken. So pretty good. I like it. I think it's pretty good too, specifically for the ailment resistance. I like it for that. I think the mind stat is really, really good for the type of character you're equipping this to. I do like the fact that we do have some damage mitigation, specifically for no attributes. What does this apply to? Hard to say, because I'm not exactly sure what bosses do what type of damage, because sometimes we just don't know. So it's hard for me to say who this will be good against. But I think it's still pretty decent. And as far as giving it an auto revive buff, I think this is okay. I think this is mainly for when you're fighting against a boss that tries to auto kill you in the beginning. You can just auto revive, which is good. Just understand that because of the battle start effect, that will eventually go away. So if the battle goes on for too long and she dies, she stays dead. So just understand that. So either way, pretty good. And being unable to faint is actually a good thing too. So overall, this is a really good item too. So they did a really good job with this character as far as paid gear. Because if you're going to be spending money to get equipment, it needs to be worth it. It needs to be better than an SSR. Because that was one of the things I complained about some of the previous characters, that there are some of them where I'm like, don't get the item, just get the item from an arc. Don't get the paid gear. But in this case, yeah, I think the paid gear for both is pretty good. Now, if you're budgeting and you want to know which one should you pick, in my personal opinion, I think that the staff is a must pull. I think it's a clear winner. Again, they're both really, really good. But if you're just picking one, I think that this particular rod is just or staff is way too good to pass up on. It's the total package. It really, really is. So I think that this is just going to be the clear winner here. And that's what you pick. At least that's what I would pick if I were to get the character. So there you have it. So overall, the character is pretty decent. Like I said, it's really, really good healer, really good enabler. The UR arc is okay. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really impressed with the UR art that came out, but I think it's okay at the very least. And the paid gear is actually super good. I actually really, really like what I'm looking at as far as the paid. I think the paid gear is probably the most exciting thing about everything that I read. But I do think Sera is a good unit too. If you want a good healer that can, enable your other characters to deal damage, she's definitely the right character to use. I like her a lot. And if you decide to go for her, I hope you get her. I hope she helps your account a lot. That's going to be it for the end of the year. So we'll see you next year. So until next time, keep gaming and take care, everyone. Later.